bill magic, cash magic, ring magic, mentalism, card magic, all of that. Does that ring a bell? That's right, this is the Weird and Wonderful review by Kyle Purnell. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to be reviewing this. My name is Alon, I'm a magician, mentalist, and a community owner, and for the first time ever, I've reviewed so many incredible things on my channel. Make sure you subscribe and watch all the other reviews, but this is the first time ever that I'm reviewing a magic download. Thank you so much to Vanishing Inc. for this. You should get this after watching the review on Vanishing Inc. They are phenomenal. But the reason I'm so excited is Kyle Purnell is genuinely an incredible magic creator. He has lectured for my free magic community, link in the description for all of that for free, where you can, by the way, watch his lecture for free. All in all, his thinking, his style of magic creating is so unique, it's so special, it's so visual, it's fooling. I don't think there's a single Kyle Purnell trick that hasn't fooled me, because they all fool me. His stuff, his take on money magic, which is a lot of the type of magic he does, his take on card magic is so unique. So I'm so excited to tell you guys all about his brand new Vanishing Inc. download project, because it's a project called The Weird and the Wonderful. So you're probably asking yourself, what on earth is this? Well, this is not one, not two, not three, but 6 brain-bustling effects that are absolutely unique, visual, and different, very different. In fact, you have 6 of them. So you have 2 like separate ones, and then 4 which are kind of linked together, and we'll talk about that, because essentially you're getting 3 big tutorials. And by the way, you can purchase each one of the free mini projects separately, or get all in one this big project, which is what I recommend. Now in this review, we're going to talk about each one of them separately, but because it's like not one single trick, it's a few of them in one project, I'm going to kind of go through every single one of them, pros and cons of each one and stuff, but it is a little harder because there's so much to get along. So if you do have any specific questions per one of them, please leave a comment down below after watching this review. But just to give you a quick overview, you're getting over 90 minutes of a download from all free if you purchase the main project, and you have 3 of the main things. So you have Pro Link, which is a phenomenal borrowed ring routine where you generally just borrow a ring, you have a paperclip, and you have a cash bill. A bill that is absolutely ordinary bill. It could be $20 or whatever currency you want. And you don't switch anything, no setups, nothing difficult to set up, let me say. That's too crazy. And essentially you fold up the bill a little bit like this. You attach the paperclip on top so there's nothing can get in or out. You take that borrowed ring and it goes on to that bill, and then you can drop it off, and then if you want, you can make that ring vanish and appear anywhere you want. And there's so many things you can do. That is what it sounds like, is exactly what it does. We'll talk about the tutorial and more about it very soon. Then you have Cash Splash, which is one of my favorite routines because this is a hardcore mentalism effect. Now, the principle of predicting the amount of cash someone thinks of and then predicting that you have this much change left is really common, but Kyle takes it to a whole nother level because he combines it as a mentalism reading with colors. So they think of some colors and you manage to predict those colors ahead of time. And then as a kicker ending, they never expected, you show that in your wallet and everything else is empty, you knew from the very beginning the amount of cash that they would think of, or they just think of a number actually, and then you have that number in cash, which is super, super cool, and it's super clean, super friendly, and super fun. And then you have something called the Swap Shop Collection, which is essentially 4 effects, which are all based on Kyle's favorite 4 transposition effects with playing cards. And they're all very different, so I'll just give you a brief overview from the site directly of each one. One of them is called Twisted Snap, which is just a really nice transposition between the kings and 2s with a really visual ending and a very cool kicker ending, where everything ends up switching places at the very end. Very impossible. You have something called the Stand-Up Reset, and this is a transposition which has no palms, no tables. You can do it just directly up here, standing up. It's a really cool version of Paul Harris's classic, which is really cool. This is a really good one for walk around or parlor performances. Then you have Quick Swap, where you just simply wave over 4 kings and 4 2s and they visually switch places, which is absolutely incredible, very visual, very eye-popping. This might be a really cool opener into a longer, stronger card routine. And then my favorite, which is called White Whale 2.0, which is genuinely, you just have 4 blank cards and 4 other cards, and visually you're doing some really cool stuff that looks like it's gaffed cards, but it's not, because everything is examinable by the end, where cards jump from one to another, but you have blank cards involved, which is super unique. So all in all, that's what you're getting. It's a lot. So let's talk about the tutorial for each one, but briefly, it's a very similar structure where you always have a performance, introduction, and then a main explanation with a bit of crediting and extra ideas at the end. If we look to ProLink, as I said, that's the structure that it gets. It's a very visual effect. Kyle teaches you everything you need, especially the setup for ProLink with of the bill, exactly how to make it look very visual, the angles you need to do. You also get an over-the-shoulder explanation, exactly so you know how to make it and set it up, so it's very well detailed and explained. I would like to say, as I said, the tutorial all in all is 90 minutes and you have 3 separate videos for ProLink, Cash Splash, and then the Cash Shop collection. And they're all incredibly well filmed in the Vanishing studio by Purnell. You even have George in the background. Yes, he's real. So it's very, very cool. Good audio and everything you need. Back to ProLink, then you get everything you need explained. Kyle teaches you really quickly, like everything very quickly, but very precisely, very detailed. And it's not a difficult one to perform. You just get in, you got to set it up and work around and practice a bit and you're ready to do it. It's really visual, really great. He also teaches you a really cool way to do a kicker ending at the end with the ring appearing somewhere else, like on someone's shoulder, or he doesn't teach you, but he gives you these ideas, right? Because they're not his to teach. And then going into Cash Splash, which might be my favorite routine as a mentalist myself, but this is such a cool way, generally with colors, right? Because you can have these colors that they think of it. You can have that posted on your social media, or you give them this list, they think of a few colors, and then you predict as a kicker the amount of change you had in your wallet, and it fits their number that they just merely freely thought of. So again, you have an intro, you talk about the setup briefly, Kyle gives you an explanation, he gives you a few different handlings, he talks about different wallets that you can have, he gives you all the information about the wallets, how to do it with this wallet, how to do it with this wallet, blah, blah, blah. And then you're also getting a nice PDF with it. Now, can't talk about it exactly, but you get a PDF that accompanies it. So you really get everything you need to perform. And then for the Swap Shop collection, you're getting a large kind of 35-minute video where he teaches you 4 transposition routines, and each one is a performance. And then you have an explanation. And it's really nice to get the performance. You get to see Kyle's presentation, you get to see his speed, how he does it. The performances are really, really great that you have them for all 6 effects. So that's the tutorial. Let's talk about some positives of each one of these. So talking about ProLink, which again, between that one and Cash Splash, those are my 2 favorites. Swap Shop is really, really cool, but I'm not really a card magician. I'm more of a mentalist and a visual performer. But ProLink, the coolest part is it's a borrowed ring. So anyone, he gives you a bit of detail about the rings that work best for it, but in theory, he says all rings should work, so it can be a borrowed ring, and that's the best part. And then the bill itself is normal. So after you finish performing, everything's examinable. Like the only small bit, and we're not the negatives is, but you might need the paperclip, which you might not always carry on you, but all you need to carry is really simple. A paperclip, bill, and a ring you don't even need to carry because you can just borrow it from someone. And most people have a ring on them if they're an adult. And it's just, the examinability is great, it's super clean, and the best part is it's so visual, where you just throw on or add on that ring and then you make it disappear, and that is brilliant. So now going on to Cash Splash, genuinely one of my favorites because it's such a strong, unexpected kicker ending at the end. Like the colors is just the start, but then when you show that kicker, whether you predict the number of cash at the very end, it blows my mind. And it absolutely uses no math. Like people would expect with the method it uses to use no math, but it's self-working. With the way it's designed, all you need to do is just simply do it. Follow the instructions. It's so quick, so simple. I know that sounds super cliche or super weird, but it really is how it's done. Super simple. All you need is a wallet and the cash and a little bit of setup that we'll talk about later, but all in all, that's great. And it's very, very impossible and fun to perform for them and for you. It's a really cool effect. Something I can't wait to try out myself. And then for the Swap Shop, you're getting a lot of routines. There's 4 routines, so it's a little harder to talk about them, but all in all, they use all sleight of hand. They all use like some simple sleight of hand, of course, but it'll take some practice, but once you get used to it, you're done and it's really cool. And you can choose which one you like the most. Like White Whale 2.0 is my personal favorite, but they all do use normal cards other than the blank cards in the White Whale, but they are all normal. So everything's always examinable, which is so cool. You're not using any gimmicks here. It's amazing. And all in all, about like some positives about it in general, you're getting like a multitude of magic here. Like you're getting cash magic, you're getting mentalism here, you're getting stuff with playing cards. So there's literally something for nearly every kind of performer. Every magician is close-up, parlor settings, bigger stuff, card magic. That's what I really love. So let's quickly jump into the negatives. There's really minor, tiny things per each routine that I noticed, but very small things. It's really hard to give negatives for this. So like for Cash Splash, because it's a kind of change thing, let's say it goes from $1 to I think $60 that you can predict, and the method is genius, but it doesn't mean you're gonna need a lot of physical cash. Now, whatever currency you're using, it might be more difficult. With dollars, you have 1 to 60, but here in my country, you have bills of only like 100, 200, 500. So that might be really hard for your country dependency. So of course, if you're in America or your euros, you have like 1, 2, 5 or whatever, but he talks about it, but this trick definitely works best in America, and then you'll need a lot of cash. Also, your wallet, he talks about like a specific specific wallet, which I can't mention here specifically, that makes it a little bit better, but you don't need it. That's the best part. You don't actually need it. So he goes over and it's amazing. He does a handling with generally a normal like foldable wallet, take out the cash, and how you can like show it empty afterwards, which is really cool. I just wanted to mention that, of course. With ProLink, I think it's like a really solid, perfect visual effect, but because it's the visuals and because of the method, a little bit slightly angle sensitive, but he teaches you really well how to manage those angles, and Kyle really goes over everything in the tutorial. So that isn't the biggest problem, but again, thought I'd mention it. And for Swap Shop, this isn't a negative, but again, something to mention. They all use sleight of hand. So if you're looking for something self-working, then go kind of to the other two effects, which are more or less self-working. But for the price of the project, like even if you just do the two of them or one of them, it's already worth it. Talk about if it's worth it soon. But for Swap Shop, it's obviously for a little bit more skilled card magicians. You can learn it through following the tutorial and stuff, but it's nice to know some sleight of hand beforehand and have some experience in the world of card magic. So is it worth it? How much does it cost? It is valued at $25. $25 for this one download of free downloads. Okay, so it's one project, right? And if you get it, you're getting 3 of these things, but in total a collection of 6 different effects. That blows my mind. If you do the math for this, for the 6 effects, that means it's about $4 per trick. They could easily be charging $25 per effect, okay? They could be, for all 6, $25 per each. But no, Vanishing decided to do $25 just for the entire 6 trick collection. I don't know what's going on. Vanishing Ink is phenomenal. You need to go there right now and buy it, because I don't even know if this deal will continue, because like for $25, $4 a trick, they're all visual, they're all workable, they're all practical. Purnell knows what he's talking about. He doesn't release too much crazy amounts of magic, and when he does, it's always gold. So well done to Purnell, well done to Vanishing Ink for producing such an incredible download. Cannot wait to do it. My favorite is definitely going to be ProLink and Cash Splash. I cannot wait to do them more. Cannot wait to see if you guys get it. So let me know in the comments if you do. And that in all is my review. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new to this channel, make sure you smack that subscribe button. It really, really helps. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. Maybe I already did, maybe I didn't by the time I filmed it, but I appreciate you guys so much for all your help. But smack that subscribe button, hit the like, and I will see you in the next review. Thank you so much. Alon out.